readers? It's Caelyn and I read my beta reader's book. Okay, so this obsessive immersive disorder is actually really special to me because I made an acquaintance, not a colleague isn't the word that I'm looking for, a collaborator of sorts, and a friend in the writing industry. This woman volunteered to sign up to be one of my beta readers, and she's just the sweetest, kindest person I could have asked to, or been lucky enough to have as a beta reader, and I'm just astounded by how well-spoken she was in all of her feedback, and she was compassionate, and it gave me positive responses to the things she had read that I had written, but she was really, really great at constructive criticism. She was kind, but honest, and in-depth, and she would leave me whole paragraphs, and I was just really, really impressed my first time going through the beta reading process, and she was just brilliant, just astounding, and so sweet. And I have since followed her on Twitter and on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure she follows me. I'm not sure if I actually checked. I think I just assumed that we were following each other. But we message each other back and forth, and it's just this beautiful symbiotic thing. And so she was kind enough to read my book, so I thought it only fair to read hers, and this is Lost in Amber by Esther Rabbit. To be honest, I'm not really sure if Esther Rabbit is her real name. I haven't worked up the courage to ask yet, only because it sounds a little like Easter Rabbit, which I think is really cute, and I'm not sure if it's a pseudonym or not. If it is, I don't want to, like, be invasive of her privacy and ask her, like, is that your real name? What is your real name? But either way, her name sounds cool. And Lost in Amber is just this really great book. The characters are super relatable and really realistic, and you just feel for them and sort of put yourself in their shoes, and the science is well explained, and it's a sci-fi novel. I should have prefaced with a synopsis. It's a sci-fi novel about these three women. One in particular is sort of the main character, but it follows each of these three women who have had their heart broken, and they're best friends, and they're leaning on each other for support. And in the middle of this, Zoe, the main character, main-ish, mostly main character, discovers that she has been genetically altered by this nutjob, arguably evil scientist, and she's kind of a human weapon now, and you discover later in the book what her powers actually are. She isn't told super early on what they are, but the aliens who were guiding this research initially, there's sort of a good and a bad side, the people who are trying to protect the people of Earth from being genetically altered and being tampered with without their knowledge and against their will, and then the people doing it. And all of these people, all of these aliens, have the power to make people forget, kind of like, I think it's Men in Black, the device that they use to make you forget, the mind wipe thing. They can do that. Zoe cannot forget. Some of the aliens try, for her own safety, it's the good side, but she can't forget, and that's kind of how they know, oh, okay, she's one of the altered ones, let's investigate, let's protect her, and they end up on this wild, crazy adventure with these aliens who are not the green-headed, big-eyed, or the green-skinned, big-headed, big-eyed, type, but they're very, very human. A few small similarities, like their skin is smoother and, like, essentially looks poreless, and just things like that. And the guy who is protecting her has a fetish for waistcoats, and he has beautiful, beautiful amber eyes, and in which she finds herself lost in them. So, Lost in Amber, and it's steamy, and there's a lot of girl power, and like girls helping girls, and leaning on each other for support, and there's action, and there's science, and it's just a whole hodgepodge of awesomeness. Also, tidbit, real quick, I mentioned the waistcoats. I actually had to look that up. You would think with my love of historical fiction, I actually would know what those are. I was imagining like a full-on jacket for a dude with the tails that like cover the butt, is what I was imagining. Apparently, a waistcoat, according to Google anyway, Google and Pinterest image search, is just a vest, like you would see a hipster wear, essentially, I guess. So that actually makes him less weird in my mind. He was actually coming across, with the mental image I had in my head, he was a little dorky, which was endearing and adorable, but he seems cooler now that I can visualize in my mind that it's just like a man's button-up vest. So there's that. Waistcoats are not what I thought they were, and he wears a lot of them, and he actually sounds a lot sexier and a lot less dorky now that I have that mental image. So moving on, obsessive immersive disorder is my little spin on basically everything you as a fan would ever want to be introduced to, as far as merch, music, fan art, and food. Those are my four main topics. I don't think I've done any other branches outside of that yet. If you guys think of anything that you want me to do, or I have done something in the past and I can't remember it, that you want to see come back, let me know. But we're going to dive right in and check out all the awesome stuff that you can buy or look at or listen to or enjoy if you enjoyed Lost in Amber as much as I did. So this time I'm going to start with food. I can't remember what I usually start with. I think I've mixed it up a few times. But I really only found one item that fit in with the story, but it was an item I had never heard of, and in fact it does exist. It's not something that Esther Rabbit made up for the sake of the story, and now I'm really intrigued and I want to go out and buy some. But there is a scene where she discovers some honey that the aliens have that's pink, and the alien basically tells her, oh, it's rose petal jam and it's delicious, and it kind of becomes her comfort food, and she like snacks on it in bed and stuff. It's sort of a running joke or running comfort thing for the character in the book. But so I looked this up, and it looks delicious. I don't know how roses are supposed to taste. They're pretty, they smell good. Honestly, I feel like they taste like grass. But whatever rose petal jam is supposed to be amazing, and it looks really pretty. So definitely on my list of things to try, and I think you should too. Okay, so for the clothing / merch section, I really didn't find anything that was Lost in Amber specific. As far as I know, Esther Rabbit does not have any sort of merch store or any sort of deals going on where she is currently marketing products, t-shirts, hoodies, phone covers, whatever, with like her Lost in Amber logo or portraits of the characters or anything like that. Which can be hard to find for books that aren't like wildly, super massively popular and well known, like Twilight or the Shadowhunter series, Series S? I'm not sure. I should know, but that's what Google is for. So I wasn't really expecting to find anything there. Esther, if you watch this and I am wrong, please let me know. I would love to do a retraction and blast your merch everywhere so everyone can see how awesome it is. But at this time, I didn't see anything. So what I did was I went and found things that fit the motif of my experience. This is all a very sort of personal thing, these obsessive immersive disorders go. These episodes, how they tend to go is a very personal take on my experience reading these books. So I try to find stuff that fit my experience. If you can think of anything else for any of the books that I cover that you'd like to see added, or that I missed, or that you didn't agree with, that kind of thing, please let me know in the comments. But for the clothing/merch category of this episode, I decided to go with jewelry because that was the easiest and most affordable and most beautiful thing that you could find, fitting the motifs that I was looking for my experience with the book, which was these space-themed, sort of galaxy, starry-esque pieces of jewelry. I mean, it's a sci-fi novel about aliens, and just look at the cover. Oh my goodness. Wow. So I think that fits these pieces of jewelry pretty well. And then also the name of the novel is Lost in Amber, and you've got the steamy romance bits where she's looking into the amber eyes, the love interest, and so I kind of just went with the obvious and picked a few pieces of jewelry that were really pretty pieces of makeup. Thirdly, I've got two playlists this time. Sometimes I struggle to find even a song that works well with a novel, so I tend to end up putting together playlists for myself, which is what I did this time, just from previous experience with like really, really popular books that were on Book of the Month and were all over my Bookstagram feed. They had no pre-existing musical playlists of music that was inspired by or reminded someone of the novel. Things like Circe, I think I made one for. And I definitely made one for... Spinning Silver. So I just kind of went on this hunch that Lost in Amber wouldn't have one pre-made, so I made one of my own, and I actually got Esther's seal of approval, I think. She seemed to be enjoying it, but once I shared it with her, she said she'd made one, and I had no idea. It didn't even occur to me to look this time, just from previous experience telling me that I wasn't going to find anything. I just kind of given up on that route. So I went and checked out hers. It's great, it's beautiful, and it's, you can't get any more pure and direct from the source than music that inspired the author, presumably as they were writing it, or drawing up concepts and such. So go check that out. I also have one if you want to see it, and like I said, Esther seemed to enjoy it, so hopefully it's decent. I personally tried to go with music that reminded me of space, of aliens, of sci-fi and adventure. I also tried to capture the feelings of a breakup, which is how the novel initially starts off. It's sort of the inciting incident that gets everyone to jump into the thing, and there's also romance aspects, and girl power and best friend stuff, and sort of a feminist angle, and so yeah, I was trying to encompass all of that and get a song or a couple of songs for each of those motifs. And then lastly, and this has always been my favorite part of the series, doing these episodes, and it's still my favorite part for this particular one, the fan art section. Okay, so, again, like with the merch, I didn't find anything directly related to Lost in Amber using hashtags and searches and stuff, with that and Esther Rabbit's name attached to it. So I sort of did the same thing with the music and the jewelry, where I looked for images of something I had pictured in my head while I was reading. I really don't think these disappoint. I hope if Esther watches this video, she agrees. I hope you guys agree. but these are absolutely beautiful pieces of fan art that I think sort of, they don't capture the actual events in the book, but they really capture the feel of it as you're reading, and the look on the cover, and I just really think they blend well with the whole world that Esther has created. And that is it for this video. Not super long, but go check out the book, go check out this awesome stuff. It's all free and or really affordable. I don't know why it would be and affordable and free, because that doesn't work, but you know, I'm a writer, I'm not a public speaker. Why am I on YouTube? I'm spiraling. So yeah, anything on this list, anyway, anything on this list is easy to get to and worth being enjoyed, so go check it all out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!